So we're going to do a 3-part blog this month, and we're working on how to get inside someone's movement and disrupt their structure, disrupt their balance. We're going to start from quite a big external movement, and we're going to work down into smaller, more internal space, which is always more challenging to get across on film, but we will do our best. This first section is called When. And the idea is, when should we move? The first thing we need to do is to switch on our nervous system, wake up our nervous system. You might think, oh, my nervous system is switched on. And maybe it is. But what I tend to find these days, especially with phones and all the rest of it, is people walk around switched off. Even to the extent of if they're on their phone, they'll walk into traffic. People have been injured or even killed doing that. So the amount that your nervous system is shut down or tunnel visioned in order to do that is quite amazing when you think about it. So the first step we need to do is make sure our nervous system is fully awake. Around where I live, sometimes if you're out in the fields, we have animals called muntjac. They're like a wild deer, and they're of fair size. Very occasionally you see one, you spot it across the other side of the field in the hedgerow. As soon as it sees you've made eye contact, it disappears. It's quite a large animal, but it's just gone. Its nervous system is switched on to such a degree that even eye contact from 100 yards away will trigger a defensive response. Now, we've got pretty much the same nervous system. So why can't our nervous system be that sensitive and that aware? Well, it can. And I think if we go back to earlier days when we were hunters and everything else, or you see people in other parts of the world, they've still got this natural awareness. So again, from a Systema perspective, what we're doing is not adding loads of stuff in, we're taking stuff away to reawake this natural movement. So we're going to start with contact, because say the first thing we want to do is get the nervous system really fired up. Not in an aggressive, twitchy way, but just in a way where the body is going to move naturally, respond naturally to protect itself. It's very good to use weapons for this kind of work. It can be a knife, it can be a stick. One, because a weapon adds a certain different level of feeling in the body from just a hand, especially if it's the knife. And two, it gives us a clear intention when we're doing some of the other exercises. So, we've all seen this very familiar drill. We push and the person moves away from the point of the blade. So this is a very nice drill we use to loosen the body up a little bit and get everything moving. This time I want to work a little bit more on his nervous system rather than his muscles. So I want to agitate him. So rather than this, I'm going to be a little bit more see how the body wants to create space. This is a good response. There's nothing wrong with that. Just not for this drill. Okay, so if you undergo this type of training, some other things as well, you're going to start getting more awareness in your nervous system. You're going to wake up a little bit. So, how does this relate to when we move? Well, here's the thing. Quite often martial arts caught in this phase of I do something, he does a technique in response. For argument's sake, he's going to do an upward block against my attack. Okay, fine. It all looks fine. The problem is, he knows what I'm going to do, because this will be a set routine. He knows what he's going to do, because he's got this idea in mind to perform this technique. And he's actually putting his technique in after my movement starts. Even if we're going quite slow, see, I start, then the movement is coming in. That's more like real speed, but it's nice there, because you see his body moved away. So this is already starting to work. So when we should move is as the attack forms. And we should move because the body wants to move. It shouldn't be, we go back to that muntjac, oh, it's gone. As soon as that threat develops, the body's moved. Okay. Now the trick with this work is to try and make it as natural as you can and not be, don't let the fear come in too much. Obviously we need the fear to get the reaction, but we don't want to be tense with it. When you get that first movement, if you want to call it a flinch, then exhale and just walk away. Just as a way of releasing that tension for the moment. So at first I'm not trying to catch him out or anything else, I'm giving him quite a clear indication of where the knife is going. But what you'll find over time is even when people, there's the response, there's the muntjac, there's the deer, that's our natural reaction. And you see, he didn't do this or anything else, he moved and walked and is ready to work. Because obviously the next stages we'll start putting in a response, so from here we'll be positioning and working against me. But that's the very first thing you need to start working on, is your nervous system and your awareness. If your body is telling you something and you don't hear it because you've either got your head in the phone or your head is in the future somewhere or in the past and your body's going now, like this, you're never going to see anything. Okay? So very first step, nervous system, then start working to put that in. When do I move? And the answer is as soon as you can. Why wait? Okay? Thank you.